Thanks for tapping into your daily dose of new media news. Real, not fake, because all we want is the truth. Make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and of course, join the society. Let's get into it.
Hey guys, what is up? It is your girl Lisa Blone, and I am back with another live stream video. Thank you guys so much for tapping into Blone Got Tea. Make sure you smash that like button, share out this live, and if you guys are feeling the vibe, go ahead and subscribe. You guys, I wanted to come to you guys today and talk about the things that are going on in this world. Okay, I have been following the government shutdown for a few days now, but I decided I would bring it to my chat and really see what you guys are thinking, what you guys are feeling, and what you guys are going through, or if you're even affected at all. Okay. Um, Wait a minute, let me take this down. And you guys, it's like this. Like I am here on these social media streets, right? And I was scrolling, watching, reading, and you know what I noticed? Reality is meeting reality. No, yeah, I said what I said. We all have you know, a good headline. We love a good headline. We love a wild story, right? Feuding couples, a celebrity breakup, a messy PR scandal. I bring you the tea, black culture. It can always get ratchet. A sudden loss in the industry. I just talked about D'Angelo passed away yesterday, and trust me, I'm tuned in. That's what I do. I bring you controversy. I bring you chaos. I bring you what's trending in these digital streets. But lately, I've been seeing something else under the surface, and it's scary real. Because while we're watching, right? I bring you the tea, but I also have to watch and gather the receipts. So we're watching the latest celebrity drama, right? Influencer fallout. Out here in the real world, some people can't even afford to keep their lights on. Some folks are watching the government shutdown like it's another TV episode. But baby, this one doesn't have credits running at the end, y'all. And you know, I always say when reality meets reality. And the thing about the government shutdown, and I didn't want to get too much into that or even keep saying that, but I just wanted you to be aware. Just look at the thumbnail. Those are the things that have come to my mind, and it's just hit a roadblock for me. And I'm just like, is there anybody else noticing these things? And one thing about it is when certain things like this happen, everybody can't just bounce back. You know what I'm saying? People may relocate, people may, adjust something. People may not have the means to just come back, you know? And that's the line people like to throw around, right? You'll be fine. Just, you'll get back to work. Just go back to your job. But what if there's no job to go back to? Or what if you're unable to go back? Because they were saying, some people is coming back, or some people, it's crazy, y'all. And we're going to get into exactly what it means, like the whole, shutdown and all that. But depending on how long the shutdown lasts, and the last one was in 2018, 2019, and that lasted 35 days. All right. That lasted 35 days. This is day 14, if I'm not mistaken, you guys. All right. Give or take a day. Does it matter? Does it matter? But, some people are about to make drastic life altering decisions. I'm talking about like uprooting their family, leaving behind homes, moving, to states just to survive. They may not be there if you guys say, "Oh, false alarm, come back to your job." Yeah. And we're going to get into some of those statistics and all that. But as far as the layoff, just under 200K federal workers have already left their jobs. And that's as of July 14th. Yeah. And at least a little over 128K workers are laid off or maybe laid off, if not more, you guys. And I believe that this shutdown is detrimental to us, the public, the masses, and the employees that work for the federal, like the ones that are furloughed or are required to work without pay, you know? I don't know. We'll get into some of the statistics, the statistics. I think the fact and predictions. I think I did pull up something on Google just so we can get some clarity on that and not just from my memory. And not that I don't trust my memory, but I want to give you guys as specific information as possible when it comes to things like this. You know, and when it's all said and done, when the government finally, says, "Oops, our bad, y'all can come back now," or whatever. And I'm not trying to make fun of anything, right? I'm bringing the noise, y'all. Okay, those people may even be there anymore. And this is what it means when I say reality meets reality, because while we're sitting here, with the celebrity chaos, the real folks are losing their footing in the middle of basically an economic earthquake, right? A collapse. And before you say it doesn't affect me, let me stop you right there. Oh, yes, it does. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but trust me, when the economy falls, it drags everyone with it. Remember, with much whom much is given, much is required. And whatever you choose to do with your money, that means you're going to live on that means. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to live probably above your means. So there are people that are juggling credit cards, juggling, their lifestyle because the middle class is diminishing. That means there's a wider gap between the have and the have nots. We had that comfort spot, the middle class, but guess what? Let me make sure you guys can hear me. Hold on. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this, you guys. Um, wow. Let's go ahead and get into this. I want to show you guys this video, basically how we got to do this video. I'm just going to show you the video. Shy Love. Let me get to the chat and say hello. What is up, Shiloh? Hi, happy Wednesday. You too. Yeah, I know it's terrible and scary. Welcome, Mojo. What is up, Mojo Shy? Welcome, welcome. And these workers aren't getting paid. No, they're not getting paid, you guys. Let's get into this first video. And let me take you down the rabbit hole that I went down. Now, I think I'm starting with the restaurants. Okay. I think I'm starting with the signs that we're seeing already. All right. And then we'll get into some statistics. But We'll start with the restaurants. The restaurants.
When I told them I was never going back after they tried to charge me $15.33 for a single chicken bowl. Check this out. Don't play with her. Rice, black beans, veg. Okay, it's underneath. The veg. Babes, we have guac sour cream. I can do my own chicken. I made my own motherfucking corn salsa. Lettuce on the top. Lettuce that's not gonna give me E. coli. I know you girls thought you ate raising the prices and shit, but I'm not above cooking every fucking meal myself. I'm boycotting all you bitches. Fuck you.
Sorry, I have to rant again. I wanted to do some errands just to pick up some wine and, stuff for the house and everything. And I figured, oh, I'll just stop over here at Bonefish. Haven't been here in a long time. And food wasn't that bad. It was okay. But I had a glass of wine, a piece of fish, a little bit of rice, and some broccoli. Take a wild guess what it cost me. I don't know. Cheap wine, too. Not even good shit. Just regular, average stuff. Walking out of there with a 20% tip, $70. Is that insane? To me, it's insane. $70 for literally a piece of fish that was that big, a little handful of broccoli, not even, and a little bit of jasmine rice and a wine. I mean, come on. What the fuck is going on in this country?
Anytime you walk into a restaurant, ask them, who's your food vendor? And if they say Cisco, just know you about to eat a Lunchable for $40. Like I fucking said. I'm gonna eat it though.
We are in a silent depression. When you compare the Great Depression to today, this is going to absolutely blow your mind. In 1930, during the Great Depression, the average home in America was $3,900. The average car was $600, and the average monthly rent was $18 or $216 a year, and the average salary was $1,300 for the year. Fast forward to today, it is $436,000 for the average home, 48 grand for the average car, and the average rent is $2,000 a month or $24,000 a year. And we have a $56,000 income for the average American right now. So if you look back to the Great Depression, the house was only 3 times the average salary. Now it is 8 times the average salary. The car was 46% of the salary. The car today is 85% of the salary. And here's the craziest part. The rent was 16% of the average salary. It is now 42% of the average salary.
Never sue the other driver.
Now, y'all heard that. And already we have several states that are facing recession, as many as 22 states facing recession right now. But just something as simple as eating out, grabbing a burger from McDonald's, taking your family to have a great sit down, and eat at a great restaurant, your favorite restaurant, has become a daunting task, y'all. It's almost impossible. And the prices are through the effing roof. I feel like every time I go out to eat, the prices are just unreasonable. I can't even remember the last time I went out to eat. And the food, I can say it's mostly disappointing. Not saying I haven't had a good meal or two, but it's mostly disappointing. Let's not talk about the service, because I believe that most of the people that serve you are under pressure. They're stressed. They're stressed out. And they don't want to be at the job that they're doing. And whether intentional or not, sometimes they take it out on us customers, right? Us paying customers, I might add. like I love, going to small local places too as well. And some are still really good, but I have to admit it's gotten so bad that I have to basically not only reduce eating out, but absolutely just abandon the whole idea. I don't know. I just wanted to see if any of you guys were going through this too. Or is it just me? Am I the drama?
46% of the salary. The car today is 85% of the salary. And here's the craziest part. The rent was 16% of the average salary. It is now 42% of the average salary.
Stop spending money that you don't have on things that you don't need. I feel like at this point I sound like a broken record, but I'm going to continue to say it until maybe it gets through some of you guys' heads. I've cut back on eating out a lot because for whatever reason, that price is astronomical. You can't go out to lunch without dropping at least $40, and dinner for me and my girlfriend is usually around $100. I'm not telling you not to treat yourself. I'm not telling you not to enjoy the little things in life. Whether you're cooking meals at home or meal prepping for lunch for the week, every dollar saved for a rainy day is a good day. And quite literally, it feels like rainy days are happening every day. Even with my 9 to 5 that's stable, I get paid well, and I'm also frugal, it still feels like it isn't enough. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. This might be the whole reason right here. It's like restaurants went and raised their prices and forgot how to cook at the same time. Like, who's actually thriving here? I know the customers aren't, and I can't imagine the staff are either.
One of the worst parts about how the economy is looking right now is my favorite place to get lunch increased the price of their burritos from $8.99 to $9.99. And that dollar does make all the difference.
Fast food has completely lost its value, and it's becoming more expensive to go get fast food than it is to sit down at a nice restaurant. The other day on the way home from the airport, we usually don't do fast food, but we were so starving, so we stopped and got Shake Shack. We got 4 burgers, 4 fries, chicken things for the kids, and I think like a chicken sandwich. It was $110 with tax. $110 with tax. I was so tired. I was just like, you know what? This is par for the course. Later that night, I had promised my aunt and my mom that I would take them to dinner. I eat out a lot. This is one of my favorite spots. It's really nice. It's affordable. Food is delish. We got 3 alcoholic drinks, bread for the table, 3 appetizers, some dishes, all fantastic. The bill was $81. I made the bill an even 100 because Service was great, food was delish, and I had it in the back of my mind that I just spent $110 on fast food, and I'm never doing it again. And sure, if we had a couple more people, it would have been more expensive. But when I'm thinking about like the actual value of it, if I spend 20 or 30 more dollars, again, an entire family can have this large fine dining experience as opposed to $110 on burgers and fries.
I think we can all agree that eating at a restaurant has become like ridiculously priced in the past few years. We cook at home most of the times, but like, we like to go out like once or twice a week. And I honestly feel like me and my husband, cannot go out to lunch or dinner without spending $50+ and we don't even drink. A couple months ago now, like me and my husband kind of just looked at each other after going to like, an moderately priced restaurant and being like, that like was not worth it. And we kind of just decided then and there that we were either going to go like the fast casual chain restaurant route or go to a really nice restaurant where we knew that we were going to get a great meal and it'd be worth what we were paying for. This has kind of helped with that balance of like, sometimes we don't want to cook. Sometimes we want like a great experience, but like we weren't getting that like value out of going to the mediocre restaurant and it being like worth our money. So if you kind of feel like how we do, I don't know, this might be something to help your budget or just kind of like help your sanity in these times where like you can't get a reasonably priced meal at a restaurant.
See, because I wasn't playing with Chipotle when I told.
Bottom line is these restaurant prices are insane, right? Even if everything is budgeted and I've been cooking a lot more at home, anyone else not eating out anymore? Just like these people that you just saw in this video. Because I refuse to pay damn near $40 plus tip for a so-so meal that I could have made at home for a third of the price. Sometimes I feel lazy and I want convenient, but I just can't do it anymore. Every time I run through the calculation of exactly how long it took me to earn the money, just the idea makes me cringe. So what is going on, y'all? It feels wasteful for me to just go grab a burger at 2 a.m. in the morning because I'm hungry. Right? I don't know, you guys. I mean, any of y'all experience the same? And it's a lot of states that are facing this recession, y'all. Now, I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but let's go into some specifics. All right, hold on. Let me take this down. Wait, first before, let me give where I got this source from. Hold on. This compilation of videos came from Market Gains. Okay, so if you want to watch this video in its entirety, you can go to Market Gains, and this is where I got this video from. Okay, I didn't want to show you too much. I just wanted to give you an idea, and hopefully you are picking up what I am putting down. Queen TLC, what is up? Good morning, love. It is currently, good afternoon. It's currently 12 p.m. here on the West Coast. Tap in and let me know what time it is in your neck of the woods. Now, you say you're in Brooklyn, New York, so I know for you it's about 3 p.m. Shout out to you, Queen TLC. You said, same here. I live in Brooklyn, New York. Everything is overpriced. What is up, Shiloh? Absolutely true. And you say, and this is only the beginning. Yes, y'all, this is only the beginning. You see, I eat out at least twice a week. It's gotten so expensive. It's pathetic. I can't do it anymore. Exactly, you guys. Let's go ahead and pull up just some basic information on what I'm talking about and where I got some of this information from. Let me go ahead and share. Hopefully, they're still letting me share. Let's make our way over to Forbes. There's an article I want to show you guys. Hold on. Let me go ahead and share this with you guys. Okay. Let me make sure you guys can see this as well. All right. Let me go ahead and get into this. Just to give you some context of what's going on, okay? Now, I wouldn't say it's a day late or a dollar short. This was published on October 13th, so give or take a day, okay? It's about the 14th day in. It says government shutdown day 13, betting odds now favor longest shutdown in history. I thought this was relevant, so I just wanted to bring it to you, okay? Because this is what I mean when reality meets reality. When you turn off the internet and you're in your living room, you're in your room, you're in the office, and you clock out of social media streets and you clock into the real streets, there's a lot going on. Okay? And I just wanted to touch bases with my chat and, see what you guys think about the situation. All right, so let's see. Odds makers predicting the government shutdown could last over 35 days, which would make it the longest shutdown in U.S. history as it approaches its third week. That would be about 21 days, right? Now, the reason why they say the longest, like I said, I think between 2018 and 2019 was the last government shutdown, and it lasted 35 days. So even one day over that would make it the longest, right? Kind of a little hype there, but this is something that we need to know. And let's see. Let me see how far down this goes. Okay, Monday. I'm just going to give a quick swoop. Okay. Monday, October 6th, Republicans rejected a Democratic-backed measure that would have kept the government open and also funded subsidies for the Affordable Care Act are set to expire at the end of the year after a vote of 50-45, largely along party lines. All right. Democrats have contested the memo with Senator, we're not going to say the name, Senator, calling it another baseless attempt to try and scare federal workers. Tuesday, October 7th, federal workers might not receive back pay for the days they have been furloughed. White House budget chief said in a memo, arguing a 2019 law that mandated back pay is invalid and that the Congress must appropriate funds specifically for that purpose in order for employees to be paid, multiple outlets reported. We are on Forbes, you guys, all right? This is a vetted source, and I'm going to continue to read. Tuesday, October 7th, President said in 4 or 5 days, there will be a substantial job cuts and a lot of jobs will never come back. If the shutdown continues, adding, we have a lot of things that we're going to eliminate. Johnson said he's spoken to the president about the issue and he agrees. And the P agrees that he doesn't want people to go without pay. Wednesday, October the 8th, the House Speaker told reporters, I hope that furloughed workers receive back pay, of course, but acknowledge there are some legal analysts who are saying that they may not be appropriate or necessary. What? Sorry about that. In the terms of the law requiring that back pay be provided. Wednesday, October the 8th, the Senate voted 54-45 for the Republican spending plan, failing to reach the 60 vote threshold needed to pass, and 47-52 against the Democratic proposal with the same 3 Democrats. So they named the Democrats. All right. Again, bucking their party to vote in favor of the GOP bill. Thursday, October the 9th, the Senate rejected the GOP-backed bill for the 7th time Thursday in a 54-45 vote, short of the 60 needed to break filibuster, with no new Democratic vote supporting the legislation. Thursday, October 9th, the president said he will be making cuts that will be permanent and we're only going to cut Democratic programs. In his latest threat to force Democrats to vote in favor of the Republican spending plan to reopen the government. Friday, October 10th, federal workers received partial paychecks only for the days they worked before the shutdown began on October 1st. What will be their final compensation as long as the shutdown continues? Friday, October the 10th, Kalshi prediction market forecast a 28-day shutdown with a 59% chance of it lasting more than 25 days, 50% odds it will last more than 30 days, and 33% far more than 35 days. The shutdown will last until at least Tuesday, when the Senate is scheduled to vote next on the legislation to reopen the government. Basically saying if the Democrats don't fall in and agree, that's what it's going to take to end it. Like, basically. Friday, October 10th, consumer sentiment is virtually unchanged from last month, dipping from 55.1 to 55, according to the University of Michigan, which reported the consumer surveys indicate the shutdown hasn't impacted consumer views of the economy so far, while inflation and the labor market prospects remain top concerns. Monday, October 13th, the predictions market is currently offering 68% odds the shutdown will last more than 30 days and 51% chance it will last more than 35 days. Monday, October 13th, Kalshi forecast for the shutdown based on betting on the predictions market rose above 37 days, below falling slightly to 35.2, which would make it the longest government shutdown in history, breaking the record set during the first Trump administration in 2019, when a shutdown lasted 35 days. Okay, thank God I was right about that. Monday, October 13th, House Speaker in press conference raised the alarms of the impending record, warning that the country was barreling towards one of the longest shutdowns in American history. Okay, so we made it, you guys. All right. I gave you the ins and the outs. All right. So that we have a little context. All right. 3 p.m. Florida. Thank you. Thank you for tapping in, girl. Thank you for tapping in. What is up? What is up, Florida? Shout out to you. Thank you so much for tuning in to Blonay Got Tea, you guys. Make sure you smash that like button and share out this live, guys. Let me go ahead and take this down. Because what are you guys thinking? What are you guys thinking right now? You know? I don't know. I don't know, y'all. So when I say this is how the recession happens, you know, I'm not talking fear, I'm talking facts. It's all, you know, the prices are rising, resources are shrinking, and people are too distracted to notice. So it's just sort of like a wake up call. I'm here, you're here. Like, we have to talk about when reality meets reality. Just don't let it be you. Don't wait for the panic to hit, right? I just want people, you know, people who follow me to wake up, and not just spiritually, but financially, mentally, emotionally, just touching bases with y'all, you know? Because in 2025, nobody's coming to save you, right? No government check, no long lost relative, no bailout, no we'll fix it later. You are your own plan B, right? It's crazy, y'all. It really is. You know, some people are, because debt ties you to things. You know what I'm saying? When you're in debt, and it kind of it's hard. And I just want to say, you know, I'm here too, you know? A lot of people are just one paycheck away from homelessness, one paycheck away from economic collapse. And stress is kind of like become like a background noise that just never, kind of goes away. And I'm not saying for all of us, but holler if you hear me. That's all. And this is the place where fear replaces motivation. They have a name for it. It's called financial paralysis. And shout out to the people that are doing the most, like doing it, like actually surviving, because we are expected to still function. We are expected to function while we're falling apart mentally, financially, right? Emotionally, for some of us. I don't know. I don't know. And I may not have all the answers, but I wanted to also get into, because I saw this video, y'all. I saw this video I saw some videos on the TSA. I saw some videos on the agents. I saw some videos on the air traffic controller and the problems that are having. And for some reason, my timeline is just bombarded with how empty Vegas is. But I saw this video on nurses and healthcare. Okay. And I wanted to go ahead and show you guys this video, because in this video, this man is talking about how the health care is being affected. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see. How it means no money for the nurses. And I am like, what? So I wanted to go ahead and get into this, because this is how the economy crashes. This is exactly how the Great Depression started. And I'm being funny. But you can't ignore the trickle effect. It starts slow. Then one day, boom, it catches up to you before you even see it coming. Right? And we want to say, don't let it get to you, or don't let it keep you. Y'all, let's go ahead and get into this, because look, I see I may not be or have all the answers. I don't. I'm not a financial guru. I'm not a politician, but I do know this. This is real. Okay? All of this is real, what I'm showing you. And, I just wanted to touch bases with you guys and give you an earful of the other reality. Right? All right, hold on, y'all, because I want to pull up this video for you guys. Now, let me do this. Hold on. And I don't want people to think that so much doom and gloom, but I don't want everybody to think that everything is fine and dandy. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, the next time you wake up, the world is in shambles. And for some people, they feel like there's no way out, and that's when things get dire. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't know how to pick themselves back up. And I'm here as a sound mind and body, and I'm just bringing y'all the reality, right? Let me see. Thank you, girl. Thank you. Let's go ahead and get into this video, y'all. Uh-oh, I did the wrong thing. I always push the wrong thing when I'm trying to rush. Hold on, you guys. Now, let's look at this video, y'all. Let me show y'all. And this is why the shutdown is so dangerous for the healthcare, right? Hold on. Let me see which one it is. Okay, let's go ahead and get into this video, you guys. And I'm going to share this with you. I am sipping on tea. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Let's go ahead and share this, guys. And I'll be right back with my commentary.
Other field within the government that you may be working in. But from my perspective, nurses seem to feel it first. Um, and for all you nurses that talk about, it's not about the money, it's not about the money. How about you go talk to those nurses that are working for free today? I ran across the post on TikTok of this labor and delivery nurse who's working for free. And the kicker is they might not even give her back pay, according to her. And she has 4 children. Her husband also works for the government, and he's not getting paid. So, for all you nurses out there that are saying it's not about the money, yes, it's always been about the money. And if you don't see that, then you're blind. But it's always been about the money. And if you don't, how about y'all give y'all checks to those nurses that are working for free?
They offered me $3,000 for my this Harvard AI.
And tell me how much it's not about the money then. So, anyway, uh, but yeah, I wanted to talk about this shutdown because right now we are in the talks of having another one, and a lot of people are looking at it like it's just politics. But for for a lot of us nurses, it's real life. It's real life. It's not just politics. It's not just something to talk about on CNN or Fox News or whatever channel you subscribe to. This is actually real life. Um, and I want to talk about what government shutdown means. So if you see me looking back and forth, is because I took notes on this, and because I didn't want to miss nothing, because I felt like this is a very important video. So what does it mean? It means delayed paychecks. It means programs we depend on getting frozen. It means that patients fall through the cracks. And guess who are the ones holding it together? You guessed it. The nurses, CNAs, doctors, people in those medical roles. And let's talk about what that actually means when it comes to financial, when it comes to mental, when it comes to professional, because uh, people have been ignoring this conversation for way too long. And what better time to talk about it other than now? So, let me give you a Cliff Notes version of what a government shutdown is. A government shutdown happens when Congress can't agree on how to fund federal programs. That's a very Cliff Note version of what it is. And what happens is non essential government services stop, and even essential services get hit really hard. Um, you got public health agencies like the CDC, the NIH, and VA. They start cutting staff, they start furloughing, they start doing all the stuff necessary to save money. Nursing home inspections stop, or they pause rather. Community clinics lose funding, and nurses literally get told you're essential, so you have to show up, but you may not get paid on time. Now, can you imagine? Can you imagine being told that you may not get paid on time when you got rent due, you got bills due, you got them expensive car notes that y'all love to drive, you got that due, and yeah, you may not get paid. That's wild. And if you're a nurse in a federal facility like the VA or public health, you could be asked to keep working until things work out. What do you do in situations like that? I know I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And I've thought about working for the VA because government benefits are great, but I could not imagine working for free.
Okay, you hear what he is saying. And I know I bring the controversy, right? But on the flip side of that, I see things that are going on in the real world. I see the things that are going on in America, and it is scary. Can you imagine? You might even have somebody in your family that may be in the medical field, that may be a nurse. Hell, you may be a nurse. My chat covers the gamut of a sector of society that comes from all makes, models, socioeconomic backgrounds. So I know that you may be affected by this as well, whether personally, directly, or indirectly, because we're all going to be affected by this. But just imagine having a job as important as being a labor and delivery nurse, getting paid a pretty penny, probably not even what it's your work is worth, but we're not going to go down there, right? And then you're a required worker, so you have to come to work, but now they're telling you that you may not get paid. What part of the game is that? See, now they playing with us. Now they are playing with us. And with so much uncertainty in the world, and you want to play with people like that? Could you even imagine? And they have to go home and live life as well. The bills that are piling up, right? Like I said, a constant background of stress that never seems to go away. And nurses are very much overworked in a way, right? They do the 12 to 14-hour shifts and come back and do another 12, 14-hour shift. Like, my mother was a nurse. I think she was a labor and delivery nurse, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. It's just really, really effed up. And like that woman said, everybody can't just bounce back. Everybody can't just say, oh, you want me back to my job. Okay. Depending on how long the shutdown lasts, and sort of like the drastic, dire decisions that people are going to have to make for themselves, for their family, their well being, right? Let's listen to what he has to say, okay?
Um, that's crazy. I mean, if you work in a nursing home and surveyors and regulators might stop inspections, can you imagine the chaos that could happen with that? Oh boy, you will have a whole bunch of unsafe facilities that are slipping through. And y'all know that these nursing homes are not the greatest places to begin with. But when you stop inspections and surveys and all that kind of stuff due to a government shutdown, boy, everybody is in danger, including the workers, because you don't want to work in a dangerous situation. So that's crazy. And then you got to think about the hospitals that rely on Medicare and Medicaid reimbursements. They start feeling it. They start feeling the pressure because those payments can slow down. Oh, but it's not about the paper. It's not about the paper. And then that's when overtime gets cut, supplies start running low, and everybody's stressed out. Everybody's stressed out, and that's not good for nobody involved. You got stressed out nurses, you're gonna have stressed out patients, and they're not gonna get the adequate care. Nurses are strung out and start losing licenses and becoming desperate. It just can trickle down to a whole bunch of uh, chaos. And people be like, "Oh, CJ, you're fear mongering." Yeah, I had a comment the other day that said I was fear mongering because a patient had squirted HIV positive blood on two healthcare workers. How is that fear mongering when it was the truth and that's what happened and that's what at least that was reported? So I'm just reporting the news. That's not fear mongering. I'm telling nurses to be careful. And yeah, but anyway, the truth is the system will always make sure that the politicians get paid. And look, y'all know I'm not a political channel. I really don't talk about that kind of stuff. I usually only talk about it when it comes to like nurses and how nurses get directly affected. And
Businesses everywhere are turning to Gusto for payroll, benefits.
the frontline workers. What about the frontline workers? They get the uncertainty. You know, working in psych, I've seen a toll that uh, stressors like that can have on a person. I put out a video like that yesterday, and it could cause a person to break. And just like I told you, I've talked to doctors, I've talked to lawyers, I've talked to nurses who they all had it together and they had money, they had homes, and they had stability until life hit them hard. Now think about the people who don't have all the luxuries that those people had, who don't have all the privileges that those people had. Now you're giving them this.
And that's exactly the point that I wanted to make. That's exactly what he just said. He said he talked to doctors, lawyers, people of prominent positions that we know make a pretty penny. And they were depleted. They were caught off guard. Life hit them hard. He says, imagine the everyday average people like you and me. Not even that, because nursing, I mean, it is, but he's talking about even careers, because nursing is a career, that's a profession. This is a real people problem, and it often has a trickling effect. So it's not just affecting, if it's not just affecting you now, believe me, rather directly or indirectly, because when the economy is not doing good, no matter how good you're doing, exactly what he just said, it's going to hit you like a ton of bricks, because it cuts off and cuts down resources, right? That keeps some people from drowning, keeping their head above the water. Or for those who have it, right? Plentiful, because no matter how rich you are, you have to keep the surplus coming. You have to keep money coming in, resources coming in, or else you will deplete what you have. And I want you guys to know some things, you can lose overnight. It happens to the best of us. It's happened to the worst of us. It was, that's just the way it is right now. And I think this is how, if you ask me, the recession happens. This is how the economy crashes. This is how the Great Depression seems like to me. Now, I'm just jesting with that because I don't know the real reason. We can look that up. But I'm talking about the trickle effect, right? And like I said, if it catches up to you, don't let it keep you. And I'm not going to lie, some people will be unscathed. So this is not, you know, panic mode. The main thing is not to panic, right? Get in some type of faith, believe in something greater than yourself. So I'm in no way going that avenue. But what I'm saying, y'all, is when I bring you these kind of videos, you know what I'm saying? Because I may not have all the answers, but I can share what I do know. Let's go. He has a little bit more to say.
They wonder why the mental health until life hit them hard. Now think about the people who don't have all the luxuries that those people had, who don't have all the privileges that those people had. Now you're giving them this. They wonder why the mental health crisis is what it is right now. And I don't want to sound like a whatever, but I mean, you'd be surprised how fast somebody's mental health can crumble when the pressure keeps building and the safety net is gone. I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine. But I'm gonna have to hustle because I will have to do what I had to do. But I don't know, bro. The government shutdown might not mean much to the average person, but to a single mom that's a nurse, that's trying to feed her kids, trying to pay rent, it's everything. Single dad that's trying to pay rent and everything like that. It's everything. And when that stress carries into the workplace, the patients suffer. Passion fatigue gets worse. Um, and mistakes happen. The morale drops. All kind of stuff happens. So you got to be careful when you out here and you trying to make something happen because, yeah, everything drops. I can only imagine being a sick patient that has to work among nurses that are not getting paid. Y'all already don't like nurses. So could you imagine dealing with pissed off nurses that are not getting paid? You don't like them now? Well, imagine. Imagine what'll happen then. But I've learned that this is a career field where you have to adapt. You have to adapt. You have to have a plan. You have to save money. You cannot depend on the system to save you. You got to save yourself. Uh, that means having a savings account for emergencies. That means learning an extra skill. Uh, Learning how to become independent as a nurse.
Meet Yoto Mini, the screen-free, ad-free audio player. Tried, Mr. Wong. With hundreds.
Okay, so I just wanted to play a little bit of that video. If you want to see this video in its entirety, make your way over to the High Value Nurse. So I guess he's a nurse and he speaks on things of the healthcare and things that affect nurses. And so I appreciate his input, and he really highlighted some things that I wanted to make a point of in this video. So I thought it important to hear his voice and hear what he had to say, knowing that he's in that field. So shout out to you, sir. Thank you so much for your input. Let's go ahead and take this down. Now, y'all, what are y'all thinking? What are you guys like thinking about this whole situation? Like and subscribe. Thank you so much, love. Yeah, y'all. What do you guys think about all of this? I mean, and like I said, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not ever. Okay? Because some people will come out of this unscathed, right? But everybody's going to have a story, you know? And trust me, if and when the economy falls, because I don't know what to call it, okay? When it costs me $20 to freaking go to McDonald's right quick and go to the drive-through. That's insanity. All right? But when the economy is like this, it drags everyone with it. No matter how well you're doing, how much you've stacked up. When the system slows down, it cuts off resources. And those resources that keeps the people afloat. It's what keeps food on the table. It's what keeps businesses open. It's what keeps you from feeling that wave of desperation knocking on your door. Nobody is safe. Even the rich ain't safe. Well, you have to look at it from their scale, right? Because no matter how much money you have, like I say, if there's no flow coming in, even the greatest can fall. You eventually run dry. And you can lose it overnight. It's happened to the best of us. It's happened to the worst of us. But that's the thing about these moments in history. They don't just reveal, right, who's rich, who's poor. They reveal who's prepared and who's pretending. And right now, a lot of people are pretending that everything is fine when behind the scenes, they're one missed paycheck away from disaster. And I'm talking about people that you would least expect, not the everyday Joe like you and I. You know what I'm saying? You know, like honestly, you guys get what I'm saying? It's like, wake up, America, right? So while the timeline's talking about celebrity tea, I want y'all just to zoom out. Look around, you know? Let me make sure you guys can hear me. Hold on. Look at your grocery stores. Look at your bills. Look at how many people you know have lost their jobs, cars, homes, peace of mind. This ain't just another story for clicks. This is a kind of moment that will test us all in some way, shape, or form, right? So yeah, I'll keep bringing the headlines because that's what I do. But I'm also going to tell you when the line between entertainment and emergency starts to blur. And baby, it's blurring for me right now. It's blurring for me ahora. ¿Ok? No lo veo. No lo veo. Yo no quiero. But let's go ahead and get into the specifics of it being day 14 and really what it means. Okay. Now I'm all over the place. I'm going by memory, I'm going by statistics, I'm reading you guys, but I wanted to bring you a video that kind of brings it all together and drives this home for me. I'm no expert at this shit. I'm going through this just like you guys are, right? I rely heavily on my faith and my faith in God. So that's my secret, in case you guys were wondering. But faith without works is dead, which puts me with the rest of yous. Okay? You got to get out there. Let me see. Let me take this down, you guys. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys tap that like button, share out this live. If you want to make the chat all green, go ahead and grab your membership, become a member of the Blown A Society. All of you guys are my VIPs, okay? All you guys are my VIPs, all right? There's a certain caliber of bougie over here, okay? Let me see. Hold on, let me bring this up. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much, Shiloh. Really appreciate you guys. And thank you guys for tapping in. I think I have one more video for you. Where is it? Okay. Let's go in. I'm going to show you this video, Roland Martin. We're going to get into this video because I think he kind of breaks it down. And the speakers that are speaking, I think they kind of drive what I'm trying to say home. And also just giving you guys the details of what's going on, okay? And that's what's more important to me, is to get the facts out there to you. And then my POV comes second, okay? It's a runner-up, all right? Okay, let's go ahead and get into this, you guys. Like I said, let me just make sure of the source of this video, Roland S. Martin, all right? And we are just going to watch some excerpts of it. Thank you guys for tapping in.
Today marks the 14th day of the government shutdown, and the Senate did not hold a vote today, as it is a federal holiday. It's Indigenous People Day, or what others call Columbus Day. You know, the guy who actually got lost and so-called founded the country. More than 4,000 federal employees have recently received layoff notices due to the ongoing political standoff. Approximately 700 staff members who were mistakenly fired from the CDC on Friday have been reinstated, according to the American Federation of Government Employees. Let me deal with that with my panel. Dr. Omi Congo, being a senior professorial lecturer, School of International Service, American University, author of Lies About Black People, How to Combat Racism out of DC, Renita Shan, former Georgia State Representative, as well as Eugene Craig, CEO, X Factor Media, Inc., out of Baltimore. It shows you, Renita, the sheer stupidity of Health and Human Services Secretary Robert Kennedy, that you would fire all of these specialists on Friday. And here we are Monday, you have to reinstate them. These are the Keystone cops. These are true idiots. And the fact that these people are in control of the government is pretty shameful.
Right. And it's not the first time, because we saw that when the Trump administration first came into office, they had Doge going on where Elon Musk was running around firing lots of federal workers. And what was not loudly reported, as loud as the firings, what was not loudly reported was the fact that a lot of those workers that Elon Musk fired without any rhyme or reason or even knowing what they were doing had to be rehired. So this is a constant pattern with the Trump administration of them not having any sort of critical thinking or any sort of plan around what they do, and they just jump into action. And that's not the way that government works. This is, it's just more of the same. And unfortunately, it's a lot more expensive for the country to get back these folks when you have let folks go. And, people, not everybody is just going to say, hey, I'll just come right back to work. So this has just been more of the same of just a chaotic administration.
Not only that, Eugene,
You think you're fine after a car accident until this happens. Most people don't realize that even accidents that seem minor
Now you see she's bringing up the point of, people may not be around to after the aftermath, after everything settles, right? How many people are going to move out of state? How many people have to make major decisions because each day that they work, or they're furloughed or choose not to work, they don't even know if they're going to get paid or not. It's different in knowing, like, oh, once this is over, I'll have a fat paycheck waiting, because you feel me? People may be more apt to continue to work, but with the uncertainty of you may not even get paid, like, that's where the real problem is coming in.
Gene, it's just totally disruptive to an individual and their family. I mean, all of a sudden, you get notice, hey, you're fired on Friday. Over the weekend, you deal with that. It's like, oh, Sorry, my bad. Come back on Monday.
I mean, it sounds like to me that the literal intentional infliction of emotional distress, negligence as well. The thing is this, right? What everybody has to understand is that they are literally doing what they told you they were going to do. For years, they said, hey, we want to scale down the federal bureaucracy. And now they have the opportunity to do it. They tried to force it with Doge. And now they say, because we have this government shutdown, we're just going to eventually just start firing people and use the shutdown as a reason to do it. But because it's what they've always wanted to do. And now they have the window of opportunity.
Congo?
Yeah, I mean, going to Renita's point, the people they fired the first time around are people who worked for the nuclear, handling the nuclear, energy, and they had to bring them back. And when they tried to bring them back, they couldn't find them because they didn't have their personal email addresses, and they shut off the access to their own emails, their work emails. So they had to struggle to find them. And I'm going to assume that this is probably happening right now as well. And I think to the last point, it's important that people do get reminded of the fact that this was Roosevelt's plan all of the time. Feels like there's too many Democrats who work in the government. Feels like the government's too big. And one of the things that I appreciated was that some of the people who have been laid off, because some folks are not coming back, right? Some people who have been laid off have said, Democrats, we still want you to keep it up. We still want you to keep the fight going because we know that you're fighting for this country. And for a group that has been in so control of the messaging, talking about the Republican Party, this is a message that they're losing. You see with the airport delays and things, people don't want to play the videos in the airports of Kristi Noem. And so
Oh yeah, you guys, we didn't even touch on the TSA agents, the air traffic controllers, the cancellation of flights, not enough this, not enough that, the chaos that's going on at the quiet chaos that's going on, the long TSA lines, because there's only 2 agents per 4,000 people. The air traffic control, they're lacking. They're lacking. So they're canceling flights. And it's harder for people to get their refunds. Number one, if you don't get the insurance, right? And if you fly in economy, like most of us do, you feel me? But it's only, and for most cases, if it's the airline's fault and they cancel, but it's not. It's because of the lack of the workers, the air traffic controllers, the TSA agents. That is federales, baby. That's why I say it's a quiet chaos. I forgot to mention that. Yes. He just touched on it. It goes deeper, y'all. It goes deeper.
Talking about the Republican Party, this is a message that they're losing. You see with the airport delays and things, people don't want to play the videos in the airports of Kristi Noem. And so Democrats have to keep pushing this, but the people who are being laid off, even the ones who are being invited back, they also have to keep pushing this because this is a narrative that Democrats with their singular messaging have been able to start controlling. And Mike Johnson and John Thune and all of these guys, they look like fools out there. Everybody knows that this is about covering up for Epstein, and everybody knows this is about a shutdown that they want to use to continue to implement what they already told us they were going to do, as has been said.
You got 1.4 million federal employees that have been furloughed without pay. To that particular point there, Renita, when you look at what's going on here, Republicans having to own this, and of course they're trying all they can to say, "Oh, it's Jeffries, it's Jeffries, it's Jepsy, it's Schumer," but we know what's going on here. They do not want to roll back these health care cuts. And Democrats are saying we're going to remain steadfast. In fact, you guys, if y'all had that video that Congressman Hakeem Jeffries put out on social, let's roll that video that speaks directly to this issue.
I'm Chun Lee. You guys know me from my role on Pawn Stars, the television show. I had an underbite and
Yeah, it's just music, you guys. So it's basically just a video compilation letting you guys sending a message. This is absolutely serious. We have to pay attention.
Care issue, and that appears to be an argument that is gaining traction with voters.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad that Democrats are holding the line because that is not usually what happens. Usually, what happens is Democrats will say, hey, we got to be the bigger people in the room and we have to figure out some type of compromise. And I heard this so many times in the legislature where Democrats would say, hey, well, we'll go ahead and vote for the thing that's not the worst thing that the Republicans came out with first. And so it became almost a game where Republicans knew they could come out with the worst bill and the Democrats would reject it. And then they would come with something in the middle, which was still terrible and harmful to the general public. And then the Democrats would say, oh, okay, we got to vote for this because the most harmful thing is not what they are pushing since they have the majority. But Democrats are not doing that this time. And I'm so glad because it looks like in this instance, Democrats are waking up and realizing that when you decide to vote for a bill, whether you feel like that bill is perfect or not, you're going along with what the language that's in the bill. And Democrats are standing strong now saying, no, we are not going to budge on reducing access to health care for our constituents or anybody else. This is one of the singular most important issues on both sides of the aisle. People know that they need access to health care. And any bill that would make the premiums higher for healthcare, people are already complaining about how much healthcare costs. It's already a struggle, especially for people who are small business owners. It's a struggle for everybody. And so I am really glad that Democrats are holding the line. And I don't care how long the government has to stay closed. Democrats cannot vote for something that is going to make sure to take away access from folks.
Seems like at the end of the line, it's about affordable health care. And I feel like the Dems are holding out and standing up for the people, for the general public, right? People like you and me, not giving in to the idea that there'll be reduced access to health care. And that ties into the nurses and everybody else, right? It ties into the TSA agents, the air traffic controllers, the nurses, right? Housing, food prices, and eating out, going to the grocery store. It sort of looks like a financial nightmare. And with the shutdown, it's a blow to the economy with these high ass food prices, right? Government workers don't know if they're going to get paid or not. What? Nurses, no pay? Did I hear that right? This is American survival. That's why I asked, like, is this the American dream or a nightmare? Now, believe me, we are definitely strong. We are going to wake up from both a dream and a nightmare. But help me figure it out, right? We got to figure it out together. We got to make it make sense together, you guys. And all I can do is bring you the pieces of the puzzle. But at the end of the day, I think what a lot of us are feeling is economic fatigue, right? I don't believe it's laziness or poor choices. Because to be honest, the cost of living wage has not changed in the past 20 years. I mean, in my eyes, call me crazy. And the constant pressure to stay afloat, and don't let the unexpected happen, right? A loss of a job, reduced hours, even a car repair, medical bill, anything unexpected that you may consider an emergency pushes it into something, it spins out of control into something else, right? And this is what pushes you into debt or even homelessness, right? So that's why I say a lot of people are in survival mode. And it looks like the middle class, I'm not going to say it's no more, but why are y'all trying to get rid of it? Like, it's diminishing. And that's just a wider gap between the have and the have nots, right? And I don't know. I just believe that it's sinking, it's diminishing. And people may lose hope, right? And then you have an exodus of people leaving. That's why I was saying they may not be around. But just existing, right, is all we can do. So shout out to those of us who may be going through this, know somebody who's going through this, or I've enlightened you in some type of way, right? Just trying to keep the lights on. Most of us are just trying to keep the lights on, right? Did I tell you guys the source? Let me tell you guys in case you guys want to watch this video in its entirety. It's Roland S. Martin. Okay, so we only watched a small excerpt of that. Let me take that down. Yeah, y'all. So I just basically wanted to touch bases on that and just have us zoom out for a little while, you know? I don't know. Everybody's not going to be touched, right? Some will be touched, some will be untouched. But in some way, shape, or form, you're going to see it, or excuse, you're going to be affected by it. But maybe, just maybe, if we start paying attention to more than just gossip, right? If we start calling out what's really happening behind the scenes, we might actually be able to help somebody stay afloat or make a difference, right? Because when the cameras turn off, when the gossip fades, when they shut shit down, and when the shutdown hits your doorstep, then that's when you'll see what reality really means, you know? I'm about to get out of here, you guys, but next time you're scrolling, remember this. Someone may be at the breaking point, right? Someone's breaking point, or some people's breaking point, is another person's trending topic. And that, right? That's the kind of reality show we never asked for. Shout out to my chat, to my VIP. Stay aware, stay real, and stay ready. You guys let me know what you guys think about everything that I've covered. Um, we just want to wake up before it's too late, because I just feel like the trickle effect is here, right? But like I said, y'all, stay aware, stay real, and stay ready. And I will see you guys on the next video. Let me see what you guys are saying in the comments. Make sure I covered everything. And thank you guys so much for helping me to grow, okay? Like I said, if you guys want to grab your membership, go ahead and do that as well. Like this video. Share out this live. Let me see. And if you guys are feeling the vibe, go ahead and subscribe. And I think that's all I have for you. I was trying to see if I had this other video that I wanted to show you guys. But I think I pretty much covered everything. Like I said, do not forget to check out my store, The Fourth Wall. I have an all-in-one digital course there. I have some other things if you want to represent Bloné Society. By all means, you guys. And if you would like to support, the Cash App is right below, Cash App Bloné LA. That's all I got, you guys. Thank you so much for tapping in. Until next time, America.